So I'm in Topaz Gigapixel 8 here, and what I'm going to do is just click and drag an image from my desktop on my other screen into the main area here and let go, and it will open the file, which is super handy. So now we've got this image, which is obviously an AI image of a cat with a very discerning look, and we're going to just apply some basic settings to this. So top right hand side corner, where we always want to start, I actually want to crop this, so click the crop tool there, and that's going to allow us to make a crop pre-upscale, which is quite good because it lets us do something in the software as opposed to having to use another image editor. So I'm going to choose the aspect ratio. I'm actually going to change the aspect ratio, so instead of being the original, I'm going to do 4:3, just because there's a couple of elements I don't really want on there. I don't really think that orange juice is needed, so I'm just going to put it about there. I quite like that, so I'll click apply. Okay, now we've got our crop, which is going to have the upscale applied to it. Now there's an upscale factor here, which is 1, 2, 4, or 6, or custom. So let's do custom today, just for the sake of it. So let's do 3.5, just to show you how easy it is to apply a custom upscale factor. Now underneath it will give you the dimensions that upscale now relates to, and the pixel density underneath, 72 ppi. And for some reason, when you do a crop, it adjusts the magnification of the main screen, so it makes it look bigger than it is. So if we go back down to the bottom here and change it to 100%, now we're looking at the image sort of 100% pixel, so pixel for pixel size. So obviously it's now 3.5 times larger than it was when we brought the image in. So what I'm going to do now is go down to the basic models here, just to see what kind of model would serve the image best. So I'm just going to move the image to an area where there's more detail. By the way, if you click and hold down the left mouse button, it will show you a before, and then you let go, and it will show you the after sort of processed version. You have got other before and after options on these buttons down here, such as a sort of a slider or a side by side, which is kind of useful. But I'm just going to leave it on this for the moment. So basic models, as I say on all my videos, I like using the A/B compare tool. I don't like using the automatic version because it doesn't often get it right for me. So I'm going to go compare. I'm going to choose the standard, the high fidelity, maybe the low res option as well to compare, and click compare. Now I'm going to have a little look, mostly around the fur of the cat, because it's those tiny little fine details are the giveaway generally of which model, and also textures and things like fabric and the hat are a bit of a giveaway as to the best option for your particular image. Now I'm just looking at this, and we've got standard V2 in the top left, high fidelity V2 in the bottom left, and low resolution model being offered up on the right hand side. Now I go through this on every image, because even if the images are similar, and people will say, well, you're just doing the same thing over and over again, but it really does depend. Every image is different, even if they're similar and they've come from similar sources, whether it's photography or whether it's an AI image generated asset. So it's always worth going through this and making sure you spend a couple of minutes just picking the right one for your own taste, to make sure you've got the best starting point for any further editing. So I think the low res one here is looking a bit too crunchy for me, and this is with all the model settings at 0, so I'm going to just click the cross to remove that. So now we're just looking at the standard V2 model on the left hand side and the high fidelity V2 model on the right hand side. And one thing that jumps out to me straight away, even forgetting what it's doing to the fur, is look at the texture on the hat. On the standard model preview on the left, it's smoothed the hat out completely. If I click my left mouse button and hold it down, it's going to show you the before image on both, which is obviously going to look the same because the before image has not had any processing. You can see there is some texture on the hat on the unprocessed image. When I let it go and it updates, the standard model seems to have seen that as maybe something that was undesirable, so it's got rid of it. Whereas the high fidelity model has recognised that that texture should indeed be part of the hat and has kept it in. So it's a no-brainer for me on this one. High fidelity V2 is the model we're going to go with. So I'm just going to click apply model. That's just going to update the preview with that. So we have all this nice texture. Now I'm going to skip generative models because I hardly ever use that, and it's definitely not relevant for this particular video. So now I'm just going to come down to the model settings and see if we need to sharpen, denoise, or fix any compression. Now sharpen, I like to do a little bit of this here, but I don't go overboard. As you see from my other videos I upload, I tend to save any, if there's any targeted sharpening, I only want a little bit of it sharpened and not the whole image, I'll do that in another software in another step. Just apply a little bit of sharpening depending on what it is. Generally the AI images are pretty clean, so you don't need too much sharpening, because the images do get sharper as part of the upscale process anyway. Denoise, what I do for this, I just hold the left mouse button down, or look at a before version of the image, scan around, and unless you see any undesirable noise or grain in the original image, which I don't personally, then I would leave that alone. Same as the compression. If you click and hold the mouse button down, so you're looking at the unprocessed image and you see some nasty compression artifacts, definitely feel free to raise the compression, the fixed compression slider. But I don't see any on this, so I'm not going to adjust it, because it can be of a detriment to the image if you push it too far. Face recovery is not relevant for this, neither is gamma correction. So now it would just be a case of exporting your image, going through the appropriate options, and there you have it.